Hey guys, my name is DevChooks. Today we're going to be creating a tax board. Behind the scenes, I've created the UI for how the tax board is going to be, even the individual tax board and then the set of tax boards that you can see on the cards here. All right. I've created most of the endpoints too. So if you go to routes, you see like a lot of endpoints on tax board, on individual boards and all of that too. All right. So you can take some time, go through the code and understand what's going there. It's just simple endpoints. My focus is not the back end, it's actually the front end. So you can take some time and go through the code there. But in the course of this video, I'll try to explain anything I think may be confusing along the line. On the front end also, I've created hooks that has, every endpoint needed from the back end. So there are hooks using React query that have been created also. All right, you can see them right here. Use create taxboard, use update, and all of that. All right, now let's log out. Remember last time we had an issue with the dashboard layout where it was always going to the login screen if we were not logged in and was always going to just the dashboard if we were logged in. So I've been able to fix that also behind the scenes. So I'll just quickly explain that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. All right, incorrect password. I just knew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. All right, good. So we're in now. Let me explain the code there. Let's go to dashboard layouts. All right, go to dashboard layout. You see we have this conditional here that refreshes every time there's a change in user profile or as path. All right, here it checks if the user profile and the path is login, then it goes to dashboard and all of that. So we have all those fixes here. Also, I also added something. If you go to the dashboard index, you see that it always redirects to taxboard. All right, because we don't have anything in the dashboard, there's no need going there. Let's just go to the taxboard straight. This app can get bigger and then we then have to add functionalities to the dashboard. But for now, remember the aim was taxboard. All right, good. Enough of talk. Let's get into business. So today we're going to be creating a functionality to create a new tax board. You can see that the ones we have here are just static data. They are not real. All right, they are not real. So let's go and work on that. All right, so here I'm just going to go to the index. First thing I want to do is to get all the tax boards that we have available. All right, I just want to get all the ones that we have available. All right, so to do that, I'm going to call the hook const. Yep. And this is what we're going to do. This should call out the tax boards, which at the moment is none, but then we replace this array we have here because we're also expecting an array from the backend. So tax boards, and here we're going to pass in the data as board. That's each instance of it. And then that should be it. If we come back here, we should see nothing. What's going on here? Let me check. Okay, yeah, I see the issue. So we need to destructure that further. So const tax boards, tax boards, tax boards equal to, let's take this out. Let's leave it as the way it is. Then data. That's why suggestive coding is not always right. Well, this is right. It's just that it's not indicative of our use case. Anyways, so we have nothing here, and that's because there's nothing in database. So let's just quickly go here and try to modify that. So let's come here, and what we're going to do is that we're going to say if there are no tax boards, taxboard.length, then let's change that. So if I save that now, we should see no boards yet. Also, if I come here and put this loading, then that shouldn't show by default. But if I reload this page, then it should just flash. It's loading for it. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, that's how it should be. So if there's network issues and all that, it shows. All right. So let's implement this. Let's create a new board. If I click here right now, it just opens this sidebar, but nothing works. All right. At the moment, nothing works. It just logs. All right, nothing works. So let's go there and make that work. If I come up here, my button is opening the modal. Let's go to this component, create board form. All right. We create board form. Let's bring in mutation. So mutate. Remember, I told you I've created hooks already. So mutate this, and that's because on the stuff we're using use mutation. So that's why we are mutating here. All right. So I'm just going to unsubmit. I'm going to say mutate values, and then I need to call this other stuff here. Okay, that was too much. Comma on error. Yeah. All right, so we don't want the modal to close if it's an error. However, we want to reset the values to an empty string, and we want to send a toast, and that toast should say board created successfully. Yeah, toast is important. And here, toast, we want to toast something went wrong. All right. All right, so let's try that. I come here, let me create a taskboard called trim. You can see that right there, and it's updating straight up. And this is also in the database, because if I reload this now, it should still show here. Nice. So now what we're going to do, if you look here, we wrote a different name, and this is not 22nd of October. Today is actually July 28th. Yeah. Anyways, when this video was shot. All right, so let's go. Next thing we want to do is we need to make sure that what we are seeing on the cards is what we actually sent in. That's showing on the database, but if I come here and I reload the database, you can see that we have train. All right, so let's go for it. So let's go straight. I think we are done with this particular screen. Yeah, I don't want this particular screen. Right? Yeah, let's just add disabled to make sure that if, okay, here in this mutation, let's add is loading. So if it's pending, then disable the button so that someone doesn't click on it twice. Okay, that was meant to be loading anyway. Right, let's go. So next thing we want to do is let's put in the real data here. So on the index for each of the boards, we're passing in board. So let's go to the board card and let's receive that data here. All right, and what we're going to do is data name. All right, and here I'm going to use a library called moments. Moments taking data dot created at dot format. What format? We want it to be LLL. LLL. All right. So if we check this now, makes more sense. So let's create a new dashboard and see. Smart. Create this. Up. So this works fine. All right. So that's all for this video. Next thing we want is that right now, if I click here, it should go to the screen. So go through the code, take that as a challenge, try to fix that. Let's see if it works.